Hello everybody. So I wanted to start this module off with just a brief introduction to JavaScript, a little bit about the history and what it's basically used for. So the first thing we'll talk about is basically, history of JavaScript, right? So it is a very interesting history. Basically, JavaScript is this language invented in the 90s by a gentleman named Brendan Eich. And you can find all kinds of articles about it just by Googling it. The Eloquent JavaScript introduction's got a little bit of it, which is some assigned reading. Basically, during the 90s, there is a set of browser wars. If you remember Internet Explorer, that good old browser, there was another good browser in the 90s called Netscape Navigator. And so Netscape and Microsoft basically were in competition for market share for browsers. And so Netscape invented JavaScript to help push the web a little farther. Now, if you're not aware, Netscape kind of faded into the annals of history, and JavaScript did too for a while, but it recently has kind of come back into fruition. I say recently, that was, I would say, the early 2000s with the advent of JSON and some other things, and none of this is really super important in terms of memorization for quizzes or anything, but it's interesting. I recommend looking into it. So what is JavaScript? What is it used for? Well, I think the easiest way to demonstrate that is to see what would happen if we didn't have JavaScript. So I have a Chrome extension where I can disable JavaScript. And let's go hop over to my Gmail account. Oh, look at that. So JavaScript must be enabled for you to use Gmail in standard view. Let's take a look at Facebook. Nothing even loads. Twitter, we've detected that JavaScript is disabled in your browser. And so you might be asking, what is JavaScript? Why do I need it for all these things? Basically, JavaScript is a client-side programming language. I should scratch that. It's a general programming language that can be used in the client side. And when I say client side, I mean the browser. And what we'll be doing in this course is client-side programming to interact with the browser that lets us add interactivity to our web pages. It lets us reach out to external data sources with HTTP requests and all those things that we use the web for, our emails, our social media, things like seeing your Twitter feed and posting things and having things pop up. All that stuff is powered by JavaScript. So if we turn it back on, we'll see our Twitter feed pop back up. It's all these interactive elements that we see. The news feeds, when you see tweets automatically live refreshing without having to refresh the page. Our emails popping up in Gmail and being able to go through all these kind of different interactive features. That's all done by JavaScript. So it was just a brief introduction. There's more about it in the readings. And I'll see you all in the next video.